Our third speaker, Roscoe Allen. Roscoe is a highly sought-after consultant. He's an award-winning speaker. He has an MBA and an DTS. That's our Distinguished Toastmaster Award for those that are newer. Today, he will help you see the power of words. His speech is 7 to 9 minutes. Let's welcome Roscoe Allen.
Today I'm going to share with you the power of words. We've already heard some good ones, fart and what that explains. I have a few words that I'm going to share with you, and the first one I want to talk about is the F word. And I'm talking, this is a vulgar F word. You don't realize what you're doing when you tell your kids this. Your kids don't realize what they're saying when they're telling their friends this. This F word is fine. See, it even had a hard time coming out of my mouth. Fine. Because when you're fine, you think everything's okay. It's when you're failing, you know you're failing. When you're fantastic, you feel fantastic. When you're fine, you're stuck. I figured 3 other F words that help me overcome being fine. And the first one is faith. You might be asking yourself, what is this faith that he's talking about? And I'll just real quickly cover it because I don't have enough time to cover each one of these in detail. Faith is first, faith in yourself. Can I do it? Second, it's faith in the process, whichever process you choose to change your life. And third is the faith in your team. The next one's fire. Also a very strong and fun word. Fire, it's that motivation. It's that thing deep in your gut. It gets you going, gets you moving. But the one I'm going to spend the most time on is focus. So you have faith, fire, and focus. And to explain focus, I'm going to take a friend of mine that I met in 2013. I was in Texas. I was there when it was super hot, October. It was so hot that a guy like me was sweating profusely. And I wanted to get outside. But my friends enlightened me that you have to be very careful of scorpions, spiders, and snakes. Oh my. Scorpions, spiders, and snakes. Oh my. So as I'm watching out for these scorpions, spiders, or snakes, I notice on the ground this little black bug. Piques my interest because he doesn't look like he can attack me. He's not a scorpion, spider, or snake. I notice that he's pushing a ball. Uncertain of what this ball was, I got a little closer. And then I did what any self-respecting man would do. I took a selfie. As I looked at him, I realized what he was rolling. It was dung. This is my first exposure to a dung beetle. And as I watched the dung beetle move his prize, I started to realize I'm like that dung beetle. I went to college. I got a degree in supply chain and logistics. That means I'm an expert at moving other people's dung across this country. Internationally, as a matter of fact. And you would think that would make me excited. I'm as good as a dung beetle. However, it had the exact opposite effect. I was depressed. So I went home thinking how I'm no better than a dung beetle. So I started doing some research on a dung beetle and found out a few interesting factors that dealt with focus. A dung beetle in the state of Texas, due to the whole population of dung beetles, not just a single dung beetle, they saved the Texas cattle industry $350 million annually by moving dung. They add value to Texas. I was telling this to my father-in-law who had recently returned from Africa. And he said, you know what? They have signs that say, beware of the dung beetle. That got me curious. Why would they beware of them? Africa, dung beetles, a bunch more research. Found out that the dung beetle, with 3,500 of his closest friends, can devour at 25 pounds of elephant scat in less than 2 hours. They are sought after in Africa because what they do is they grab this dung and they roll it up into a ball. Now you're still asking yourself, how does this deal with this thing he called focus? Well, you think about it. Invite 3,500 of your closest friends to your house and see how fast you fight over food. This guy's so focused when he gets to his pile that he knows exactly the style of dung that he wants. Are we different? Are you different? Do you know what you want? He grabs his piece of the dung, and then with this laser-like focus, starts to roll it and collect it. Now, what's also interesting is they can focus on the moon during the day with their head down, feet up in the air, pushing this ball of dung. They will push it in a straight line. They are so focused. When they hit an obstacle, they do the dung beetle dance. They focus on a new target and trajectory and roll again in a straight line. As they're doing this, they are so focused on what they want that they attract a mate. When you know where you want to go, people are attracted to you. The mate joins. They dig a little hole. They bury it. They plant their little babies and their egglings in there. And as they come out, they feed and nourish off this pile of dung. We do the same thing for our families. I had a good friend of mine who was fired from his job. He was devastated. He'd been with the company 18 years. The first words were, "Roscoe, I gave him 18 years of my life. And they just up and fired me." Time out. Brad, did you really give them 18 years of your life? Or for the past 18 years, have you been providing a way of life for your family? Have you not been seeing to the betterment of your family and to those around you? It's what you focus on that makes all the difference. When he realized that, he was very grateful for the job. He was very grateful for the opportunity to become to the next person. It's what we focus on. So you might ask yourself, what should I focus on? First, you need to focus into the future. If you spend a lot of time focusing into the future, what are you called? A daydreamer. So you need to know where you want to go, like the dung beetle when he looks at the moon. He knows the line of trajectory. He knows where he wants to go. But then comes the hard part. You have to focus on the now. You have to take care of yourself, your family, your friends, your obligations as you roll your ball of dung to its desired location. There's times that you'll feel confused and frightened. Don't be afraid to get up on your ball of dung and look around. Where am I going? Where do I need to make the adjustments? And they get back down and push. Because when you're focused on your goal, you can accomplish them. When I was in high school, I was told I was too dumb to go to college. By who would have told the young man that? His guidance counselor. I believed him, so I was fine. I said, you know what? I'm going to be a garbage man. That's awesome. It's a great career path. But I had an opportunity a couple years later to learn Mandarin Chinese and live in a foreign country. And I realized I wasn't fine with that anymore. I now had a new trajectory. I came home and I went to school. A few years later, I went back and got my MBA. Do you have goals that are bothering you that you want to accomplish? You can by thinking of a silly little bug, the dung beetle. He can help you accomplish your goals. And final thought, when a dung beetle harvests his family, they go out and they have to go and scavenge for food again. That's when you look back. You remind yourself of those things that helped you become successful, that helped you become who you are. Not the negative, not the time that you felt down and depressed and discouraged, but you look back briefly to make sure that you can keep finding your sustenance. Faith, fire, and focus. You can accomplish your goals.